All right, so this is just a recording to give to professors to better understand the opportunities we have, as well as an easy thing to show students. So my name is Brandon Pierce. I'm the CEO and founder of Pure Legacy, and I'm going to be presenting to you our Future Innovators branch. Prior to opening the Future Innovators branch, we had our kinetic energy branch, which we're still working through becoming a renewable energy distributor for some manufacturing companies with some nice technology. It's just COVID put that on a halt. But our future, okay, why is this doing this? There we go. So our Future Innovators branch is STEM tutoring services. Our mission is to engage, educate, and advance the skill sets of tomorrow's future innovators. So these pictures here, this is one of the first young students that we completed one of our STEM tutoring projects, him and our intern, Jordan, who is from Jamaica and currently attends MTSU, worked through this project. Experiencing different difficulties. I believe there was one screw missing, and so they actually had to go and find a screw to match that size. But this was an awesome understanding for how this opportunity can be for both college students like Jordan, but also young students as well, growing their skill sets. Now, what is STEM tutoring? So a lot of people think of STEM tutoring as math and science. That's a lot where the schools focus on. They don't really have the ability of these mechanical and electronic projects. But really, STEM education is developing skill sets for innovation, problem solving, and critical thinking. The perfect example of that is for our company, we are incorporating what we are calling DIY STEM. So instead of us buying a kit and that kit having instructions, we work at finding a project that the student would like to build, and the engineer intern or tutoring intern is capable of helping with. So that middle picture there under DIY STEM is basically using pop cans, popsicle sticks, some wiring, super glue, some small propellers, and this computer chip thing that connects to controller that was actually took off of an RC car. And then you build your at-home DIY, drone. Now, anybody can be a STEM tutoring for us. If you have a passion, if you want to do this for fun, we're paying $10 an hour for these tutoring sessions. And it's very flexible based off your schedule. We match you to the kids that are, close range to you, as well as what you feel comfortable building. Because, for example, I'm really good at building these things. I've had a hobby of it, but I've also self-taught myself how to basically build a solar system by connecting the wires, making sure all the computer stuff's right. Perfect example is on my website. There's a picture of where I actually hooked up a solar panel into an inverter and hooked that inverter up into basically 3 car batteries sitting in tubs and wired that to where 2 of them would stay charged. One of them would provide the power source, and then the system would basically keep that battery charging as well as charging the other ones. But mechanical STEM tutoring is basically mechanical kits like that. There's different versions. And then electronic STEM is basically the same thing, but just coordinating on apps and matching code numbers on each mechanical part to the app so that we are controlling the right function. Now, why is it that our business is getting the accomplishments that you'll see shortly? And what is it that really made this vision here? So my background was, this was something I wish I'd have had as a kid. But I started noticing more parents and more kids wishing to have these opportunities and parents not having the time to help them, but not also having the ability to, the time to help them and learn, but having the money to really go places. So Royal Appalachian areas, for those parents, it's low income, single moms or whatever it may be, but these services are costly. There's a lot of time constraints. So for my hometown in particular, the closest center is like 45 minutes away. So if you think about that as a parent standpoint, they have to drive to the center, go back home or go do something, then back to pick them up and back, versus we provide a flexible schedule to where college students can go and tutor in the home location. That way it's just a real nice environment. It's helping us as a startup company before we get a center. And everything, but also these rural areas, both for schools and the community, they just don't have the right resources, there are not a lot of solutions, and they're too far away from these centers. Now, Sullivan Learning is across Tennessee, but they do not provide mechanical, computer, and DIY tutoring. They do more of like the math and science. And so what we're seeing from the Tennessee STEM Innovation Network is they're trying to find solutions to put STEM events into communities, businesses, and schools, and increase the amount of STEM tutors, as well as STEM education providers in the school system. But that's because, for Royal schools, the funding is too low. There is a large acknowledgement of the professional development is just lacking for those opportunities, and there's no university to local school partnerships. And so what Future Innovators is doing is we're bridging that gap between that government side of, Tennessee STEM Innovation Network, Tennessee Department of Education, of being a middleman, more or less, to connecting university students to these local schools and to also in the community to do the STEM events you'll soon see. So our solution is simple. We provide wonderful and meaningful career opportunities for college students. Now, we do have more outside of just STEM tutoring. I will get to that in a while. But we have a flexible schedule that benefits both college students. I'm a college student myself. I completely understand. To be perfectly honest with you guys, for the last 2 years while building this company, I've worked 2 jobs, basically. I go to school Tuesday, Thursdays. Monday, I go in at 7. I get off at 3, go in at 3:30, get off at 10. And I have done 2 jobs while also doing this startup and a business. I understand flexible schedules. I'm just one of those people that can happen to be able to sleep 4 hours a night and function properly. But anyways, so these solutions for us doing STEM tutoring, increases the number of STEM tutors in these regions. It also builds into the focus of us working into connections and partnerships for developing nonprofit after school programs, which will be awesome for both engineer students, business students, and education students. Why? Education students get to have that job. They get to have that experience. Business students can coordinate different projects, and engineers get to have something to work on as well. And we also have a side to where, the Tennessee Promise and different scholarships, both for college students and high school students, involve volunteer hours. So working with these STEM clubs is a way for juniors and seniors high schools as well as college students to get more stuff on the resume for opening of more opportunities. And as we get funding, of course, pay positions into those after school programs based off how that allowance is. But we also have solutions for the community aspect. The large focus is getting more STEM events into the community. So we have what we call the 423 project, to where we have already connected with a nonprofit community center that's in some government housing. They want to work with us to where we can provide, 2 STEM events a week at their location, but also have people there so that as kids come in, they can kind of do the DIY STEM and just have fun, because these are kids that are being left at home while their parents are working with not much to do other than run around. And this is really something to where they're already coming to the center to kind of just hang out in a, that environment, get some snacks, but this is something for them to enjoy. We've also had some business to business STEM events, in my hometown in particular. The coffee company later on is wanting us to sell tickets for STEM events while parents enjoy coffee. Kids get to do some STEM events. And we're working into later on doing some community STEM academic competitions, the BattleBot styles, DIY STEM of who made a creative invention and so forth. Now, just to give you a little bit background of my company, these are some of my academic accomplishments in the back. I could go into that, but really I'm just here to focus with my company. So in May of 2019, we won the Will Klaus Entrepreneur Award, which was a academic competition. We won the Outside Award for the business that they seen chasing the large heights. In June through July, we've done some customer discovery on our kinetic side of the renewable energy distribution. We met with 4 sustainability directors to really see what the ability to work with them was. Come August, I received 11 Forbes 30 Under 30 nominations for my plans, both short-term and long-term for my business, including, the renewable energy, this education, but also the inventions that I have engineers working on for me. In September, we launched our company, and then come 2020, we were accepted into the first edition of the Launch Tennessee Student Business Mentorship Program, which is, excuse me, which was essentially just, 4 different panel events to where we would present, for one, it was sales and marketing, and we would present that presentation. They were a panel of judges that would ask us, serious questions of how we would execute, how we would plan or what their concerns is and what we could adjust due to those concerns. Come May, as you see the second picture, we gained our first news article for, my plans to bring some different jobs home of what I've mentioned, but also the renewable energy and plans to do some solar farms at schools to get, students and the community ability to get some solar certifications based off how that works out. And then August, we completed the Launch Tennessee program, received a 2,500 stipend award, and we transitioned into the Future Innovators because COVID was causing some serious issues for the distribution of the renewable energy technology as soon as we began proposals with a organization that wanted to go forward. Now, come September, as we transitioned into Future Innovators, I had to figure out some stuff for buying materials. I started selling plants. I have a serious plant addiction. I have over 200 plants, to be quite honest. And so I went downtown around Knoxville selling some plants to purchase those materials. That's entrepreneurship, guys. That's what we're here, you know. And just to kind of take a step back, we've actually had 2 engineers get hired after a 3-month internship with us by working on some of the inventions that I have, because, you know, most internships, they don't do that. They don't work on products that don't exist. And so those companies, seeing their skill sets in that area, they were hired, you know, out of, I think one said there was like 50 different interviews and they only hired 2 people. And some of those people had more jobs, but they really looked at him and said, okay, this is some serious stuff that we don't see if somebody's taking that initiative and that type of experience. You know, most people will get guidance or, you know, job shadow. Then come November, we had our second news article and we completed our first STEM tutoring kit, as you've seen in the earlier pictures. And then December 2020, we had a radio interview request. We're getting some strong backing from Adidas students, the Biz Foundry and Cookful, for developing for founding a student organization called Student for Students. I'll get into that at a later point. And then come January, we had a college prep event that was statewide, virtually free, or is a free virtual event. It was shared by a lot of state organizations and school systems. And then as you see in the picture to the right, we had, I had my first TV interview with Daytime Tri-Cities, really showing the accomplishments, showing at that time, I was getting prepared to go into the Global Student Entrepreneurship Competition, in which I placed as a regional finalist as one of the youngest companies in that state side. Sorry, my throat's dry, 1 second. To be quite honest, guys, I'm me. I don't hide or try to be someone I'm not. You know, if I got a cough or get a drink, sorry. Y'all are probably laughing right now. Oh well. But yeah, we had the TV interview, and then in February we had a radio interview with WJCW and an introduction meeting request from Tennessee STEM Innovation Network. So today's the 17th. As of tomorrow, we'll have that first meeting with Tennessee STEM Innovation Network to see what partnerships can be made. And if that goes well, we will have a connection into BioTN, and hopefully eventually on the Tennessee Department of Education. This PowerPoint right here are some slides from the Global Student Entrepreneurship Program. And we actually now have a radio request for Cookful. I have a meeting with a school systems curriculum director to see about working ahead for the after school programs. And so what that brings me to is we have actually getting a lot of accomplishments, milestones done ahead of time. So like, for example, I had, you know, school board meetings. I'm already getting that one in February, and we had planned to do some of that in June. Now, of course, we'll still grow into that. This one's more of an introduction. But we have a lot of stuff going forward, and I'm just going to highlight a few things. So we want to find 5 new students in elementary to tutor. Now, to be quite honest with you, I'm very hands-on. I will be tutoring 2 of those students. I'm not going to be just sitting back. I am fully dedicated to this, and as you can ask interns that are working for me, you know, Josh, and as you'll see here in a bit, I made these slides for the student entrepreneurships. I will work in business proposals. I will go out and sell plants. I'm not somebody that's wanting to dictate different positions. I want to grow my experience, and so I'm playing any position necessary to get this successful. What I'm looking for is, and as the positions I'll show here shortly, I am looking for people who want to be innovative, who want to take control of the positions that we have, be innovative, be creative, and use this opportunity to build connections with the connections we are making, to use this opportunity to grow experience that you may not get the access to with other internships. You may be, as you'll see in a minute, your major may be business, but you want to get more experience in the graphic design just to kind of boost yourself in a business position for management. That's perfectly honest, guys. I'm not focused on just your degree. I want you to gain the most from this. So, you know, and that will go into some of these STEM events. So business majors, you know, of all backgrounds, accounting, marketing, all that, you know, you're going to gain a lot of experience with these change roundup proposals and a GoFundMe. And imagine going to a job interview and saying, yeah, I assisted in the strategy and development of these change roundup and GoFundMe. Our goal was X, and we can actually overcomplete it. And this led to this, this, and this that I worked on for business proposals, coordinating events. Imagine going into that and competing with people that have had, you know, your typical worked as a server or worked as a restaurant, you know, supervisor, and you're doing that. Imagine that position and what that puts you in the standing for better positions for internships, you know, more pay and stuff like that. We plan to hire more tutors. As I said, you don't have to be an engineer student. You just got to have a heart to working with the kids and really wanting to learn that. And then we have, those events that are coming up, we're planning for May. But we're going to have a lot of business proposals. I'm going to have a lot of business proposals, spanning for Cookeville, going for Elizabething, these different school board meetings. And so there's a large area of opportunities for experience that isn't a typical internship. Now you're probably thinking, oh, this is difficult. Trust me, like it's not as difficult when you are having some people working with you. I've been through the ringer on this. I've been making these proposals, having to teach myself how to structure NDAs, having to teach myself to structure contracts, and all of that. We've had 2 engineer students already get hired. We already have, people getting experience that they couldn't get in other internships because they weren't flexible. And this is kind of just to show this here. At one point, Josh was my co-founder, and it was honestly just me and Josh from 2019 all the way through August 2020. The reason we ended up hiring on my cousin Tiffany as our co-founder was because Josh wants the marketing role. He was a co-founder role, but his career path is needing that. But also, my cousin Tiffany has a bachelor's in early childhood development. So her in that role works out perfect because she understands these government aspects in these meetings of how to represent what we can do in the school systems, what we can do in the community. And she really has just a strong skill set for that. But as I mentioned, it was just Josh and I from 2019 to August doing all of that, all those accomplishments. But we've recently kind of expanded. I hired one of my long-term friends, Joshua, as a financial director. Dude has amazing accounting skills. He has some wonderful graphic design skills. And he's just a really rounded, talented person. And he can show you stuff about investing that I've read books, I took classes, and he can just show you stuff that is crazy. The dude is a genius when it comes to those type of things. And so we brought him on as a financial director. He also has plans to developing, financial education for investing that is also meant to help parents working ahead for college students. So for myself, had my parents understood a little bit more of the college, that we could have started, putting money back. Won't get into that for the difficulties it could save, but he can show different plans for college students of how to make up that it's not too late or how parents to get ahead. Now, the interesting thing here is in the bottom left, our education counselor, Leela, she's actually a chemistry major, but she's thinking about teaching. And so her working on the tutoring curriculum works out for that, of her getting that experience, as well as just something that helps her get some stuff to keep scholarships and get more scholarships. Right now, Elena is with us as a financial marketing assistant, something short term that she's wanting to gain experience for her own startup that she's doing. She has a startup, but she's not, she's wanting to gain some comfortable standings of how to do that. But we also have some amazing mentors. 2 professor advisors that have helped me out since 2019. Dr. Ralph, now, yes, he likes to be called Dr. Ralph. He doesn't, really prefer Dr. Williams. And Dr. Mullane. Both of them had companies that they built on their own, brought it to great heights, sold it. Not pictured just because of space. Dr. McQuail, she's an education major at Tennessee Tech. She's been wonderful with helping me think through different strategies. She has a long list of awards for journals, articles, and all that. And then Sean Glinter, he's our business advisor that connected with us from Washington, Tennessee. He's mentored over, I think 10,000 or more entrepreneurs to success. I don't know the numbers and all that, but he is a very well-known, well-respected business advisor, business owner, and everything. And he's truly helped me go from a person that's just all over the place with ideas to a little less all over the place, just because ADHD. But he's really honed in on that personal development for myself, of just teaching myself any of these areas so that way I can make sure that I can know it to help others that may come on. He's the founder and CEO of Pennant Biosciences. As I mentioned, he's a successful serial entrepreneur. He's on the board for Bio Tennessee. And he's got a lot of other stuff that he's got going on. The guy's just amazing. What he can teach and what he can help has just been tremendous for both myself personally growing and this company. Now, what I've got here is, if you all want to find out about our company, you can simply just Google search Pure Legacy. We are Google certified, and I can always show you, right here, you Google search, it brings up our Facebook page. We got Google certified back last year, I think around August, November, brings up the LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. I can always help with connections. I've got over 2,800 followers on there, and then a large amount of state connections. Now, before I show these opportunities here, I do want to go and say that not only do I have opportunities for my job, I have 4 businesses that's looking to partner with us to providing opportunities as well for business majors, accounting, marketing, in different areas. So there's opportunities with my company. based off what region you are in. There's also opportunities with these businesses that want to partner with us. Now, these are not small businesses. These are large businesses. They have places across the states, LA, Atlanta, Knoxville, all kinds of other places. And so there is opportunities that I can connect you with if you're graduating, wanting to get some jobs that may provide opportunities to move to different locations. Now, here is some of the positions we are looking at. Of course, the tutoring, $10 an hour, flexible schedule. You don't have to be engineered student. You just got to be comfortable wanting to do that. You know, some of these will work into the events as well for different STEM events. So we're looking for education majors. The reason being is we need better understanding from the education background of the skill sets and knowledge they gain of how to properly structure you know, the tutoring curriculum, both per child, also as a standing, you know, doing different type of education planning for these STEM events, you know, education planning for these partnerships with the community center where it's going to be constant going. And so these education managers, as an intern, this internship is unpaid. We are a startup. Everything is funding out of my pocket, and you all are college students. You probably understand. But we are gaining traction to potentially get some funding. And so these positions that I'm showing are critical for us to get funding. Once we get that funding, we're going to take those people that have helped us get to those next steps and put them into paid positions, as well as potentially if we get the nonprofit after school program, these education majors also have a potential of paid staffing positions in those after school programs. So there is room to grow. And so we just got to get some certain things out of the way, like the tutoring curriculum. I've been currently working on it. However, now with these government meetings, I'm having to put a halt on the tutoring curriculum to do the government meetings. It's just the world of the startup. You have to determine which is going to be the best to make the things go forward. But anyways, these education tutoring internship opportunities are to develop curriculums, develop different strategies, you know, help coordinate with the engineer students that are tutoring kids and kind of work through different ways of communication and all that. So there's a large range of opportunities for education majors to get both the hours of experience in schools, outside of schools, and other experience that could really elevate you as a teacher as your career grows. As well as when we get connected in these school systems in the Tennessee Department of Education, we're going to have access to a lot of opportunities. With the growth that we are looking to see, there will be a lot of places looking to hire people out of our organizations because we will be doing these after school programs. And so they'll be wanting some people that are already doing the things that they're looking for. Next is the engineer internship opportunities. Now there is two sides of this, one being the $10 an hour tutoring for STEM tutors. But as I mentioned, I also have a business branch. It's called Slumberland Inventions. We've had 2 engineers get hired out of that. I currently have an engineer student working on an environmental project. That environmental project is actually being looked at by one of the business partners that we're partnering with to being purchased. They're going to be paying us so much for the idea. They're going to be paying so much for it to be continued to be developed. And they're going to basically work us through the manufacturing process. And as I promise that engineer, and I promise any engineers, any of the products any of the inventions that you work on, that is in Slumberland Inventions that I have created. I have about 30 currently that has received a notice to want to be pushed for patents. Any of those inventions, once they go to market, you will be promised a percentage of those patent royalties and sales for the lifetime of that product. I don't have the personal funding out of my pocket to pay those, but long-term, you will be promised that. And then eventually, as we grow into gaining funding, they will be paid positions for that. You know, because think about it this way. If one product, and I'm just going to pull up my iPad here and just kind of show the numbers here. So let's say that you work on one of the renewable energy technologies. And where's the calculator? There it is. So let's say you look at one of the renewable energy technologies. And okay, of course, this calculator would be different than, let's say, chemistry calculator. I don't know why I've got that downloaded. But let's say, for example, and you know, I'm gonna start doing this math off my head. Let's say that, well, actually, I got a third phone right here. Sorry, I have extra phones for online marketing. And you all are probably laughing in class. I am extremely goofy. Trust me, I totally know. ADHD is so fun. But let's see here. So let's say one of these, you know, one of the technologies, the one, I'll just go the environmental one. Let's say that it sells, and I'm just going to keep it simple. It's going to probably be more, but let's say 1,000 per unit, and they are gained 15% of that. That's $150 per unit. let's say that we sell a contract of 20 units per week. So that's 3,000 per week, and times 4, that's 12,000. That's 12,000 in patent royalties opportunity. Now, yeah, you spent some time working on these inventions. Once we get it to market and you get those patent royalties, it's a good bit of money for patent royalties going long term. So we have that for engineer students that work on our inventions. We have the $10 an hour for tutoring. These inventions, I've already had people looking at wanting to partner with, purchase, and all that, manufacture. I have about 30 or so different ones, but also those partnerships of businesses I'd mentioned, they are also looking to hire per project of engineer students designing their projects, the same thing for them getting percentages and so forth, and also that career experience. So we have a large growth for opportunities for engineer students for both my company and the companies looking to hire out of us. Next is the business opportunities. To be perfectly honest, the engineer opportunities we have are very high scale, but I believe this business management opportunity is really, really something that will grow people. And it's something I wish I could have had. I had turned down a few internship opportunities throughout college because they weren't too flexible, or it was something so simple and unpaid that I just wasn't going to benefit. For example, one of them, I would be just job shadowing different sales positions, and I was already doing those sales. I was already selling, different home and, home upgrades and stuff, and I was already getting that experience. But let's be honest, guys. If you go in with a resume of, sales, let's say car sales and all that, you're trying for a business supervisor, business, whatever. And let's say I go in, and let's just take the company off the table. And I have been working through business proposals. I've been making business analysis. I've been helping with contracts. I've been planning meetings. That level of experience is going to be much higher. This internship is unpaid, as I mentioned, where I'm funding everything in my pocket. We are looking at in the next 6 months growing to getting funding. But think about this opportunity as creative. All of these positions, you get to work on you get to pick what you work on. You get to be innovative. You get to make flyers. You get to work in different positions. You may be a business management position and want to work on the graphic design to upgrade your skill sets there. These graphic designs majors will be working on flyers, different type of marketing for our social media, different videos. But also these business and graphic design majors are something that the business partners that we are about to partner with are looking to hire also. So we have a large range of opportunities. But that's kind of like most of this here, guys. Check us out on by a Google search if you want to know more. We have all of our social links down here, 3 LinkedIn's and stuff. Check us out, look at our website, check out our Facebook post. But really, we are moving rapidly. We are moving fast. These opportunities can grow into the connections we make to getting you other job opportunities. I want you to see this opportunity as a way to control, be creative, be innovative, and have fun in an internship, whether it be paid or unpaid, with the opportunity of it being grown to paid. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. People that come on for this stage, I would love to be looking back 2-3 years down the road and have people in nice salary positions that have been here from the start and really made this thing go statewide. We have a profit side, we have a nonprofit side. We're getting introduced to STEM Innovation Network for partnerships. We're having small business partnerships, and things are growing rapidly. We need help from professors with advising. We need help from professors helping us develop the tutoring, and we have a lot of opportunities that we're connecting with outside of our opportunities. So guys, I hope to hear from you. Please, if you have some ideas, just reach out. I'm open to a lot of creativity. And I hope you all both laughed at me, but also understood the opportunities we have. I'm a very open, bubbly person. I don't hide my weaknesses. I want to develop my weaknesses. And that's the reason I'm looking to depend on some, more positions, because I don't want to be the sharpest person. As much as I love enjoying doing graphic design, the website, business documents, doing all these positions, because I just love that. I would do that even if I had salary positions, because that's where I am. I love all of that. I love learning from somebody teaching me a new skill set to develop a better version of a flyer, or like, how Joshua was doing those financial stuff, learning that stuff. I like being the person that's at the table learning from everybody. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is connecting with people, providing endless opportunities and endless connections to people that want to be involved in growing their skill sets, and also helping young students develop graphic design materials, helping them develop STEM education. And so there's a large growth here for yours, but also imagine if you were a kid at 10 years old and you had a college student teaching you how to build a website or create a flyer, or, how to work through invention ideas that they may have. And we have a large aspect of, when parents come to us with the ideas that their kids have, we give them full rights of that. We just help them in ways to help them that they may not get connections to, or somebody would charge ridiculous amounts for. The same for any students that come, any interns that come with us. If you have an invention idea, you own 100% of that, and you have our resources and connections to bring that to market. I don't take any percentage. That is your idea. You are, working with this opportunity to better yourself. If you have an invention idea, we have resources, connections, and the ability to design those 3D models. I've already been having some engineers make those. But guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope to hear from any of you all. And if you are a college student with a business opportunity or an idea for a startup, all I can say is right now is the best time to chase it. There are more resources as a college student than ever before for you to be successful. Whether you're creating something new that's entering the market, whether you're doing something that's similar, there is endless stuff there. There is a lot of stuff there, but it's just amazing right now of how college students can really take a hold and change stuff. I've had that question of like, oh, you're a college student. How is this, going to be successful? And then I've had people look at me and go, oh, you own a business, but why, and the whole type of money aspect, you own a business, people think naturally you have buttloads of money. I'm a college student working 2 jobs. I'm about to get my new salary position to where I don't have to work 2 jobs and use that money to fund it. Guys, time is of the essence, and I'm rambling on here. But we are looking to grow this across the state, and we look forward to having other people being involved. I hope y'all have a wonderful day.